This Shabbat we complete the book of Shemot, and read Parashah Pikudei. Pikudei means accounts of, as Eleh Pikudei. These are the accounts of. Eleh Pikudei HaMishkan. These are the accounts of the tabernacle. Not much really new happens in this reading. For the most part, this Parashah sums up, gives an accounting of what was at least similarly told previously in Terumah and in Tetzaveh. Terumah gave the instructions for the materials and the instructions for the building of the Mishkan. Tetzaveh told of the materials generously actually being given by the people, and the especially skilled artisans actually doing the building. Now Pikudei begins. Eleh Pikudei HaMishkan. These are the accounts of the tabernacle. Pikudei gives an accounting of all the materials that were given and recounts what was built. It's like the classic instructions given in training teachers. First, tell them what you're going to tell them. Second, tell them. Third, tell them what you told them. Accounting certainly can be seen as important. With the accounting here, it is being verified that what was done rightly, and that what was given was used rightly. None of this was to be done for anyone's personal gain. And with this accounting, we are to see that none of this was for anyone's personal gain. In essence, this Parsha may be seen as being here to verify that all was done rightly, to verify integrity. We could sure use something like that today, no? Accounting, auditing is important. We sure do need to make sure things were done right for the right. And this ascertaining of the rightful building and usage of materials builds up to the consecration of the Kohanim, for whom some of the materials and some of the skilled craftsmanship are used for creating their special garments. Even to be so crowned with the words, Kodesh Ladonai, holy to the Lord. And as this Parsha so builds up to the official consecration of Aaron and his sons, to be the Kahunat Olam Ledorotam, an everlasting priesthood throughout the generations, as I am honored to be here as such a descendant, as such a Kohen today. But before the consecration of the Kohanim, and before God's presence, Shekhinah, moves into the Mishkan, Moshe goes through this Pikudei, this accounting, this audit, as Eleh Pikudei HaMishkan. These are the accounts of the tabernacle. Before the building, during the building, and after the building. Details are given because details matter. God would not give details if they did not mean something. The Mishkan is so deeply to mean something. In considering what the Mishkan is to mean, let's actually look at the word Mishkan. Mem, Shin, Chaf, Nun. The shoresh, the root, is Shin, Chaf, Nun. Shin, Chaf, Nun means he dwells. In our services, we often sing Shochenad, meaning he dwells. Shochenad Marom V'kadosh Shemo. He dwells in the heights, and holy is his name. Mishkan shares that shoresh, that root, but adds the mem. Perhaps, interestingly, it can be noted that it has historically been said that Judaically the two forms of the Hebrew letter mem, the open mem and the closed mem, represent respectively that which is revealed for us to see and that which is not so revealed. The open mem may be seen to represent that which is revealed for us to see, open. And the closed mem may be seen to represent the closed, that which we do not so see. Mishkan begins with the open mem, and thus it is more for us to be able to see, to feel, to connect with in this realm. Whereas Marom, the heights in which he most dwells, has both open and closed mems, but Mishkan has just the open mem. Also, a mem in front of a Hebrew word is the preposition for. Thus, putting a mem, the preposition for, in front of shin, chaf, nun, makes the word Mishkan, from the preposition for and the root he dwells, and creates the word for the place where he dwells, where his presence more openly dwells here with us. And from the same root, we often refer to that presence, Shekhinah. Again, they are the same shoresh, the same root, and are thus etymologically related. The Mishkan is the tabernacle, the dwelling place we have here built for God. The Shekhinah is the divine presence, God's presence that dwells here with us. Shekhinah is no different entity or anyone separate from God, but Shekhinah is God's presence more as with which we can connect. Shekhinah is God's presence, God's force here with us. And the Mishkan that we build helps us better connect with God's presence, Shekhinah. We thus must be generous in building the Mishkan, as were our ancestors who gave more than was needed, and as were our ancestors who used the gifts God gave them to build with such great skill and love. We were then to build such a holy place, a Mishkan, for God's presence, Shekhinah, for us to connect with. Today, we too need to make a holy place, to provide a holy space, even a space in our hearts, for us to better connect with God. We built the Mishkan to provide a place for Shekhinah, and we each need to make our heart into a Mishkan. The purpose of the Mishkan being accounted for, audited here in Pikudei, is to see that we have rightly built this Mishkan, provided this Mishkan to better connect with God. We need to use that with which we are each blessed to build our Mishkan. But it is not just what is given, what is built, what is done that matters. And it is not even just that it should be done right, but it should also be done for the right reasons. Perhaps juxtapose in your minds here the two rather different building projects. The building of the golden calf is quite different than the building of the Mishkan. The golden calf is built out of chaos, but the Mishkan is built out of order and purpose. The Mishkan may even be seen as an atonement of sorts for the golden calf. Do consider the making of the golden calf with the making of the Mishkan. Some of the same kind of materials were used, but it is not the materials so much as how we use them. The question is, for what will we use our gifts? For what will we use that with which we are so blessed? How will we put them to use? Will we use the force for good or evil? The choice is ours to make. As Ele Pikudei HaMishkan, these are the accounts of the tabernacle. And I will leave you to ponder the question of the Mishkan you are building, and the question of how will you use your gifts in this life. And with that, I will wish you Shabbat